Well, welcome to another edition of the Senior Hendon Football Netball League Footy Show. And we are 7 rounds down, believe it or not, in the Hendon Football Netball League. It has been a cracking season thus far. And the big stories out of last week, of course, the Warrnambool Blues defeating the undefeated Terang Mortlake, who the week before had beaten the South Warrnambool Roosters. It's been a sensational season and really looking forward to the back half of this year. It is going to be magnificent. Trent Hill, as I say, good evening to you, mate. What a year so far, Hilly.
Oh, mate, so many ebbs and flows, I guess you could say, in the competition. Like at the start of the year, I don't think we would have forecasted Camperdown being on a 5-game winning streak. Terang Mortlake, as strong as what they have been, and maybe a few of the other sides like North Warrnambool and Croydon, not as high in the wins as what we've seen them in previous years. So I think it's great for the competition. And then you forget about the game of the round last weekend where Cobden and Port Fairy have drawn. So
unbelievable.
I think it's probably the most even competition we've seen for some time, which is fantastic.
It is. It's great to see. That is for sure. Hey, listen, been a big week in football, especially in Hendon Football Netball League circles. And there's been a few little rumblings and we've heard a few little whispers over the last couple of weeks that, possibly Portland Football Club and the Hamilton Kangaroos, well, they've been approached by the SANFL to go back into that revised and revamped league over there. And we thought, let's go straight to the man of the moment. Troy Bannum, who is the president of the Portland Tigers, has been kind enough to join us. And Troy, it's fair to say, mate, it's been a big couple of weeks at the Portland Tigers.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, it certainly has. It's added a few extra hours to the week, I'd suggest. So it's been very interesting few weeks. So.
Troy, just take us through what's actually come about, what's transpired, mate, over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I received a phone call from Sandford about probably 6-7 weeks ago now. Gets away. Just gauging our interest in potentially going back over that way, I suppose. Obviously, we spoke to the executive of the footy club and sort of we sat on it for a little while and it sort of gained some wings, I suppose. So we sort of gone a bit further, gone to the committee, and there's a fair bit of interest, I think, at the moment. So we're exploring our options, I suppose. So.
Hey, Troy, what are some of the topics or concepts that have sort of been discussed? And I know you're not going to probably go into great detail because it's obviously within the executive, but what's been some of the things that you've discussed that may make you make a decision that you might go elsewhere potentially next year?
Yeah, well, look, the Hendon League's obviously really strong with the juniors in football and netball, so that was one of our things that we said to the Sandford. Obviously, that's where we're going to grow as a footy club and as a club and a netball club. So, obviously that's a major factor for us. We want to make sure it's good, strong, competitive competition. There's a few other factors, just the pathway, I suppose, as well. As much as the Rebels is great for our kids, but we probably don't get, as you guys in Warrnambool probably aware as well, probably we don't. You got Geelong, Ballarat, Bendigo, everyone else that gets in front of us before they become in a little old Portland. So, the sample of, I suppose, we're in the honeymoon period, or the dating period. They're telling us everything we want to hear and all the nice things. So, it's obviously we've got to take it on board and look at the big picture for the footy club. So, that's where we're at. So.
Can I ask, Troy, has the travelling side of things and the commitment been a bit of an issue with you guys, obviously in the Hampton League? Because I guess, you obviously have to play at Camperdown and Cobden, and it's a fair bit of travel. Would, say, if you did make a decision to maybe go into that Sandford competition, would that alleviate that stress a bit?
No, not really. It's a similar sort of case. We've got to travel. It's probably not that. It's that's probably is the issue. What with the perception of the Hendon League, I think, for us, is that we're a bit far away and sort of missed out on a few things potentially. And we haven't had a lot of final, I think 2 finals in 10 years. And I suppose last year we played our 2 finals, first finals appearance, and they send us to Cobden after they're telling us we're too far away. So little things like that, I suppose, just eat at our members. Probably not stuff I think of. And again, I suppose, it's everyone's. Every club's probably guilty of the moment. We're just looking not past the tip of our nose. We're just trying to survive and keep the gates, and we want to be successful, obviously. So that's a massive part of it.
And it's complex, isn't it, Troy? You know, because you kind of rewind 12 months ago and even the 12 months before that. And, you know, clubs up and about, you know, you played first final series and really acquitted yourself well. You know, you lose a few players in the off-season and all of a sudden you can find yourself where you're in this position. It's hard to get volunteers. It's hard to get people involved in your football club and things can turn really quickly. And I think, mate, not just the Portland Tigers at the moment. I think there's going to be a lot of footy clubs that are sitting back and they're probably in a very, very similar spot with that you guys are in, probably decide, hey, where's our future? What are we doing? Where are we heading? And you're right, you've got to look at the big picture stuff, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. Well, look, we're a proud club. We're 150 years. In 2026, we've been around, so we've been around for a long time. So look, we're not taking the decision lightly. It's something that we've got to consider. Everything we have to consider. So it's you know, if it was this time last year, we had to receive the call and we're sitting, I think probably only lost one game, sitting sort of equal top. Everything was flying, everyone was stood up and about. We probably wouldn't have got past the executive side. We probably would have said no, thank you. And that's like a massive part. It took us 10 years in saying that to get to that fourth position, and we got the fourth position and we got belted by 15 goals. So we're still, you know, 5 probably A graders behind them top 3 sides. Losing 15 players out of our top 30 last year is obviously was going to hurt any footy club. It's hurt ours, you know. So, and I think a lot of it is it, and that's the thing. Are we in for the, you know, another 10 years of rebuilding potentially? All comes down to salary cap, trying to interest people. Like we've got 400 footy clubs that we've got to try and get them past east and west to come to Portland. So, you know, it's relocated. I'm certainly not going to drive 3 hours from Geelong every week up and 6-hour return. So after a game of footy, so I understand all that. It's just, it's difficult for us to probably attract and retain, I suppose, is our issue at the moment. So, yeah.
Troy, you know, you obviously, you know, SNFL, they've reached out, you know, to talk to you guys. Now, where's it at with the Hamden Football Netball League? Because, you know, I know, speaking personally, mate, from an absolute avid follower of the league and have been for a long time, and I love it. And I think, you know, the inclusion of you guys and the Hamilton Kangaroos has been the best thing that's happened to the Hamilton League for a long, long period of time. It's been fantastic to have you guys, and what you bring to the competition, I reckon, is enormous. So where's it at with the HFL at the moment, mate? Like, have you got those open channels, and are you having those open conversations with Trolf and the executive at the Hamilton League as well, buddy?
Oh, it was early days. We went through it. I called Shane late last week and just more of a heads up saying that we're exploring our options, I suppose. We're open and honest, and that's what we want to be with anyone and everyone, I suppose. So I didn't certainly want to be to blindside anyone. Just, you know, explain to him that we're being approached, and again, we're just exploring our options. So, he was. I probably didn't give him a lot of time to prepare anything back. He's probably a little bit taken aback, I suppose. So we just, you know, obviously that time will come and suggest, but they might be just giving us a bit of our space or whatever. And again, because we've got it's an open meeting next Wednesday night at 5:30 in the club. So we'll open up to all our members and supporters to come down. The sample are coming over with the contingency and just going to, you know, let us know what they got to offer, I suppose. And it's not going to be a decision I'll obviously make that night. It'll be over the next few months. We need to weigh up all the pros and cons. So it's very early in the process, but you know, there's, like I said, they're certainly saying all the right things at the moment anyway, I suppose. So.
Hey Troy, is there a timeline being sent by the SANFL for you guys to make a decision? I know it's early days, but have they sort of, in preparation for next year, have they given you a rough timeline when they'd want a response so they can get things in, you know, preparedness for next year if the decision is made that maybe you guys look for that new opportunity at a new league?
Yeah, look, they're hopeful to get this off the ground by 24, so that's all the next year. So it's a thing that we've probably got maybe 2 or 3 months to, you know, really dig in and have a really good think about it. And again, I'll repeat myself, it's a decision we're not going to take lightly. We need to weigh up the pros and cons. But yeah, they're really hopeful by the end of the year. So I'm thinking, again, we're taking them steps, but I suppose doing the draw and everything else that's involved. So probably looking by the end of the footy season, I'd suggest to be sort of be pretty close to making a decision anyway, I'd suggest that.
Troy, you just touched on pathways, you know, which is a big thing, promoting and bringing your kids through, and you've had some wonderful kids, you know, over the journey, you know, and there's been some superstars come through and they're still playing at the club. There's a few that obviously are living in Geelong and Melbourne and all that kind of stuff with university and that nowadays. And this is just a hypothetical, but would running the competition all on the one day, whether it be a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever, and mixing the draw up and all that kind of stuff, is that something that you would find as a club would be beneficial to the Portland Tigers moving forward? And by that, I'm saying that the underage football comp then all becomes one on a Saturday. It takes some rejigging and all that kind of stuff, but there has been discussions around that. Would that make it easier to get more people involved back at your football club?
I think so, but then the distance becomes like the camping scenario. You've got families leaving here at 5:30 in the morning. It's a 2-hour drive to start the under 12s. We've done a couple of times last. Big focus on trying to be that family-orientated Super Saturdays. We probably played seven or eight of the Super Saturdays last year, and by the end of the prior holding, even half the players are saying to me, "What are we doing?" Like, there's no disrespect to Camperdown. We don't want to go to Camperdown or Cobden in the middle of winter, starting the game of footy at 5:30 when the rain's coming down sideways. Yeah. And it's not here playing in Portland. So, I don't know what, ideally, I don't know what the answer. I think as it stands now, the competition is probably, and we don't want to go away from that either, I'll say, but having all the sides we have, it's just really difficult to fit it all in one day. So we've tried alternate venues. So, come over here, play it up at Flinders Park, like the juniors and all that, but then you're already very limited volunteers. So you're looking, traditionally you're under 16s to your under 18 boundary, and the seniors and all the rest of it, they're up on another ground, and your trainers are spread thinner and no canteen and all the rest of it. So again, it's a difficult thing. I suppose we did have a bit of a crack at it last year, but I don't know that it's for us, I think, not this time anyway.
Because I think it can work. I think if they rejig the age groups, which I reckon needs to happen anyway, so I reckon if they went to 13s, 15s, 17 and a halves, and then you have, say, an under 11 comp that maybe plays at halftime with the seniors for a little bit of a run around for the youngsters, I think it can work, in some way, shape or form. The other thing I want to pose to you, and I've been saying this, and this should definitely come into play, and I know there's a few things that have got to get worked through, but when you are playing, when Portland's playing Camperdown, or Portland's playing Cobden, or Hamilton's playing Cobden, and let's get creative with the draw, and let's play at the Reed Oval on a Saturday. Let's cut the travel out and try and share that load in some way, shape or form, and you're playing on a showcase ground on top of the deck, and we can just get creative with things.
Oh, look, worth a try, mate. Again, but I suppose from our perspective, home game, that's where we generate a lot of our fun, I suppose, through the canteen, barbecue sales and all the rest of it. And so that's, it's a difficult one. That's basically our bread and butter, I suppose. So would our supporters drive to Warrnambool? I'm not sure. We could certainly get something worth looking at, mate, I suppose, just to fit that Super Saturday. But then again, we've only got one ground in Warrnambool potentially to do that. So you've got 5 games on Saturday, you're not going to be all able to fit the Reed Oval. So again, it's a tough one to try and juggle, I suppose. But again, I think it's at the point where the league will probably have to try doing a few, at least putting them sort of options to the clubs. So I'm certainly not against the idea.
Yeah, and mate, do you feel like the Paul Cousin, so to speak? That you're obviously disappointed with, and I must admit we were surprised last year when the finals went to Cobden. We thought that was a really big ask, and I must admit I couldn't get my head around it personally. I know there was reasons because they had things set in place with every club getting a final, all that kind of stuff, and they had a 2-year kind of map out with that, but. Is there a little bit of angst, obviously, from the actual Portland Tigers, I suppose, committee and supporters and all that, that you're feeling like you're not getting as much love?
Oh, absolutely, mate, absolutely. And that's not, we're a part of the league, so we just want to be a part of the league. Just to consider us as well, like I said before, we touched on it. And that's probably, I'm not a driving force, but the decision, I suppose, we haven't had too many finals here. The one final series we did play in last year, like we touched on earlier, sent us to Cobden. So our supporters, I'm getting 20 phone calls now. What are you playing in Cobden for? It's not my choice. At the end of the day, we're playing here. It's not a choice, but it is. It's been it's been difficult. Well, not difficult, but it is. Like I said, something we do feel like the poor cousin, I suppose, and we have conversations about finals, and we can't expect in conversation and not. No, but it's a long way for teams to come over to you. It's like we have to do it every week, so we have to go every second week. We're driving to Warrnambool. We're expected to drive there. If we didn't, we wouldn't get the game. So we're part of it. made a conscious effort too, like all the meetings and stuff. I'll drive to the meetings that they have at Deakin, which is an hour and a half away from Auckland by the time you get through the city. And half the time you get there, and no disrespect, but half the clubs are zooming in blokes from Mournival, and I'm just thinking, right, I'm going to keep coming because the distance is an issue for us. We've got to, like I said, we're in the league. We just want to feel a part of the league. And not saying, don't get me wrong, not as blunt as that, but yeah, it's just, it feels like sometimes we are a bit far away.
Yeah, no, I can sense your frustration, mate, and I can totally understand it, and I get it, and they're all great valid points, like it's a really hard situation, and I think, and we had a chat off air, I think there's going to be a lot of clubs, that are teetering on the edge at the moment, and clubs need to be open. They need to be getting on the front foot like you guys are. You're getting on the front foot and you're saying, you know what, we're going to be open and honest. We've been approached. We're going to actually seriously consider it, and I reckon that is fantastic, mate. And as I said before too, we don't want to see you go, mate. I reckon you've been sensational, and we love having you in the competition, and it's just been a breath of fresh air, to be honest. It's been fantastic. And we started calling when you guys joined the league officially back at 3YB. And I think because there was so much interest in the two new teams coming in with yourself and the Hamilton Kangaroos and all that kind of stuff, mate. So can I just ask you, and this is probably putting you on the spot a little bit, and it's only probably your opinion, but as it stands right now, what are you thinking? Are you thinking you're going to be part of us in 2024, or are you thinking that possibly the winter swing's going to possibly happen?
Yeah, well, I'm facilitating it, I suppose. I probably have a personal opinion, but I sort of don't want to sway anyone anyway as far as the club goes. We just want to supply the facts. And I suppose I need to supply, and the executive supply the facts, and just go, well, this is what we've got. This is, this is our options, and put it to the people, because as we know, without our supporters and sponsors and players and staff and all the rest of it, you don't have a footy club. So, it's probably, it's 50-50, I'll be honest. If, I probably initially thought possibly not, but it's actually grown quite a few legs. And again, that's, you asked my opinion. So again, I'm going to sit on the fence.
Yeah, it's all right.
Just the way it goes, but it's probably, I'll go 50-50.
That's a good answer, mate. Hey, now one last one. So you said the SANFL, the SANFL are going to be there next Wednesday night at the meeting. On the flip side then, is there going to be an opportunity for the Hamden Football Netball League then to present to your members and stuff as well, Troy?
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. Because we don't, obviously, we're just, we're being open. We just got to explore our options. And I don't want it to be I'm certainly not while I'm at there. We're not going to be going tit for tat, and this one's going to give us that. It's just going to be whatever's best for us, and whatever the best presentation is, I suppose, and what's best for the footy club at the end of the day is what we're all after. And it's a massive decision, and it's a decision we're not going to take lightly, but absolutely with open arms. I would be very disappointed if the Hamden League didn't come over and have a right of reply, I suppose. So that's certainly something, or again, just even whether they come over or however we manage it. But like I said, we'd be disappointed if we didn't hear something. We'd have some presentation for us, I'd suggest. So.
Fantastic, mate. Hey, listen, I really appreciate your honesty. It was great to have you on. A lot of people talking about it, mate, especially over the last 48 hours. And it's going to be a talking point for the rest of the season, the next couple of months anyway, while this is going on. So we appreciate your open and honest and frank discussions. And I think it just gives and sheds a bit of light on, the football club where you're at and what you're thinking, mate. And we really appreciate it.
No worries, guys. Really appreciate you taking the time to contact us. And anytime, like I said, it's appreciate it. It's good to get it out there. Like I said, it's not, we're not hiding nothing. So we just want to be open and honest, and we'll just go through the process.
Hey, mate, we've got to get you some lights over there too, big fella. What's happening, Alcala, mate? Get the power back on over there.
Look, you don't want to see that, so I turned the light off. So it's in the close to darkness here. So.
I love it, mate.
Well, I reckon Troy was wearing the Lawrence and Hanson.
The Alan H,
too, so that's an electrical company. So,
and we're going to get you, mate. We're going to get you on as a sponsor too at some stage too. The Alan H boys, mate, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, we're a major sponsor here at the Footy Club. I can plug in there, so probably work on that.
Get the new lights in, mate. I love it. Hey, Troy Benham there from the Portland Tigers, the president, mate. Great to talk to you, big fella, and looking forward to talking more in the coming weeks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
great stuff. He's a good fella. Open, honest discussion, mate.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
It is a concern though.
Mate,
I'm actually
absolutely.
listening to that. I don't know where I sit at the moment. I feel there is a significant maybe pull to go Sandford. We can't lose Portland.
No way.
No, we can't lose them. So
we've got to present. We've got to get over there and we've got to sell our case as a league.
And I think they, as you said, they felt like the poor cousin.
Yep.
We need to probably do a little bit more.
Absolutely.
We need to do a little bit more.
And same with Hamilton Kangaroos.
Yep.
We need to understand, and he made some great points. They travel every second week.
Yep.
Camperdown travels every second week. Cobden travels every second week. There's a lot of travel. There's a lot of clubs that do a lot of work and a lot of extra work that people probably don't. We don't see it as much either. So
it's interesting because I did do a little bit of homework last night, just looking at how they've changed the tier competition, the Sandford and so forth, and say if Portland do go, there is a significant amount of travel with the clubs that they'll be playing against. So maybe the travel issue is not going to be at the forefront. It's going to be some other underlying things that...
It's interesting hearing you talk about that pathway program.
Yeah.
They're probably not getting as much love from the Rebels
Yeah.
as well, that they'd probably like. So it's very, very... And if they're coming and they're pitching a good case and they're saying this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to structure things, it's not just a Southwest thing. This is a Sandford thing.
Yeah.
So that's a South Australian Football League.
Yeah.
It's a big competition. So as I said, really going to be interesting. And the Hamilton League need to get on the front foot now, and they need to get over and they need to present their case, because next Wednesday the Sandford they're going to produce something pretty special on Tibbet, and they're going to sell their case pretty good by the sounds of it. And as Troy said, they're saying all the right things at the moment. So as a league, we need to get over there and do exactly the same thing.
Can I ask you a question? If you were the Hampton League, would you go over next week?
I'd definitely go over next
I'd be
week.
interested to see what Sandford are offering. It's all well and good to read what's there, but
No, I'd be.
You need someone over there just to listen to what they're bringing to the table, because I think
to be honest, I reckon all the executives should go over there.
Yep.
They should all be over there and actually listen to what's being said, and listen to some of the concerns that the Portland Tigers have got, because that's how we get better. It's as simple as that. We've got a fantastic league, fantastic competition, football and netball. It's brilliant. We've got some wonderful coaches in our competition. The professionalism of the league. We've got so many good things happening, but we can always get better. We can always improve.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. Hey, listen, Hilly, that's enough of that. Let's have a look at the highlights last weekend. Both of us weren't there, mate.
No.
I was only in the pre-game, and you were away, mate. But we're back this weekend. Looking forward to it. But what a cracking game of football. I listened to the first quarter, and Cobden got out of the blocks pretty early.
Yeah, they did. I'll tell you what, Port Fairy kicked straight pretty well as well. Mohan, he's a great player, and I'll tell you what, he's one that excites me when I see him play. But it seems like, from what I watched, Cobden would have the ascendancy for half a quarter, then Port Fairy would come back, and it was that was the way it went for most of the day. Oscar Pollock, we talk under 23. Love to see this kid playing under 23 in the Jonathan Brown-led side. Rowan, he kicked 5 of the afternoon, a nice soccer goal there, and he's only 2 off the lead in the, the Coleman of the Hampton League, because he's 21 goals, 23 is the leader. So he's going all right, Jason Rowan, after a slowish sort of start.
And 4 goals to equal Tony Russell's league record of 1,025 to get past it. He's had 2 bags of 5 the last couple of weeks. He's been in great nick. Paulie Pekin led from the front again. Look at that for a nice goal from the little master. Mitchie Ryan from the Port Fairy Seagulls takes a nice contested grab there too. Young player to watch moving forward. And then third quarter action. And look, Cobden, to be honest, looked like they had this game at their mercy all day, Hilly. But Port Fairy never go away.
No. I'll tell you one thing I've surprised me too is, again, for the second week in a row, they've chucked Coronius up forward and he's kicked another 3. So he's kicked 6 in the last 2 weeks. And what a great foil to have. If things aren't sort of working, there's a plan B and a contingency there for Coronius to go forward. Pollock, just polish. But it just, again, highlights, they didn't start too badly, the Seagulls, but geez, they finished strong. They've got the motor and the tank to finish really strong. It's just if they could really put a strong first half together, they could probably have won a couple extra games.
Yeah, and you can see Pollock's in the highlights all day, isn't he? He's just having a day.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's been absolutely...
And he was the Matthews Patrolman Player of the Day, Oscar Pollock, too. He had a great game.
And I reckon he might have even featured in the Lucas Brothers snag of the day, final quarter. Hey, listen, if you watched it, unbelievable scenes. Got out to a 4-goal lead with about 5 or 6 minutes to play, Hilly, and you'd be just as a Cobden supporter, you'd be thinking, put the cue in the rack here, boys, let's go and enjoy the trip home.
Yeah, absolutely. But as we know, Port Fairy, they fight and fight and fight. And this kid's going to be a little star, this Mitch Ryan. Only his 4th game of the season. And he's going to cause some headaches for opposition. And then obviously late in the game, Rowan's taken the mark in the goal square. And
look at the kids going nuts behind the goals.
Went back, slowed it, and there was the draw. So 98 apiece, and both walk away with 2 points.
Unbelievable.
And I reckon obviously Cobden disappointed.
Yeah.
Port Fairy probably a sense of relief because obviously they go from having 2 points to
and
going
how
from
many
none.
games did they probably... Port Fairy probably lost 3 or 4 games, I reckon, by about 2 kicks.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been many. Yeah, so obviously Warrnambool was really close. They were competitive against South. Cobden, I think they were within a chance.
Terang
Mortlake as well. So, yeah, they're not far away, the Seagulls, and they're coming from a long way back. There's no doubt about that. Last year, they're coming from a long way back. So, what they're producing at the moment, I reckon Dust will be really happy with, but I think he knows now, looking at that list in the first 6 or 7 games, they're capable of some good things.
Absolutely they are. Let's have a look at round 8 action, Hilly. Our match of the day, Port Fairy taking on Camperdown Gardens Oval, Port Fairy. Jason Rowan needs 4, 5 for the record. That's why we're heading there, mate. We haven't seen the Magpies. I can't wait to see them too. They are looking sensational. It's going to be a beauty.
Yeah, it is going to be a beauty. And I'm looking forward to seeing Camperdown and seeing whether there's been much tinkering with their game plan. We knew a lot how they sort of played last year, did a couple of their games, but they're just playing a different... It seems like they're playing a different brand, a really effective brand of football. And looking forward to seeing Hamish in it, Zach Sinnott, Judah Dundon, Cam Spence playing some good footy.
It's going to be good.
Looking forward to it.
Hey, other games, South Warrnambool taking on Portland at the Friendly Societies Park. I'm pretty sure that could be their first home game.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure.
I'm not too sure.
So.
Warrnambool taking on Cobden up at the Reed Oval. Koroit taking on the North Warrnambool Eagles out of Victoria Park, and Hamilton Kangaroos taking on Terang Mortlake. That is round 8 action. Hey, we hope you've enjoyed the show. We must thank our sponsors, of course, Power Course, Sun Gold, 3YB Coast FM,
Macca's,
McDonald's, Southwest TAFE, Carter Group, Warrnambool Toyota. The list goes on. Brandt, of course, the John Deere, No Fear, Lucas Brothers Butchers, Gleeson Real Estate for all your real estate needs too. Jezza and the team doing a magnificent job, just rebranded too.
Yeah, seen the signage out there on the Cameron Road at the office out there, and they've got a bit going on at the moment too, Jez. So if you're looking for a house sale, looking to purchase a new house around the area, contact Jezza and the team.
And what about Chittick's Pie, the official pie of the Hand and Football Netball League? They are magnificent. Paul and the crew out at Chittick's do an awesome job. Piccolo Coffee too. They are the official coffee of, and they're going to be throughout the final series, the women's finals, of course, the junior final series. Piccolo Coffee, Johnny and the team will be looking after our coffee for the Hand and Football Netball League followers. It's good coffee too. Make no mistake about it.
She's heavily sorted from all around the state to get that Piccolo coffee. So, no, Johnny's a good man. Loves his local footy too.
Yeah, absolutely he does. Hey, listen, that wraps us up for tonight. Hope you've enjoyed the show. It was an action-packed show, to be honest. Great to talk to Troy Bannon from the Portland Tigers. We'll see you at the footy, round 8 action this weekend.